Patrick, how's it going?
Oh, very well, isn't it?
Good. Sounds like you're getting a little cold.
I'm suffering and I'm going to worry because I'm going to be talking and I don't have very lots of water here. My note just now, I'm probably not going to be able to talk.
Yeah. You've been working hard.
Yes. I have. I just, I was keen to touch base with you because I'm, a bit concerned about the problem. I'd like a little bit of advice.
Okay.
But
what's the problem?
I've got this farm up in the Caribbean area, and it was my dad's farm, and I inherited it a couple of, around 7 years ago or so. And at the time it was being rented out to a friend of mine, and it's still being rented out. I get the rental that I get is below market, but he's a friend of mine, and he didn't have a lot of money, so it made sense to do it at the time. But since then, his financial position has improved a bit.
Okay.
And the other challenge is that I feel as though the farm is being run down a bit. I've spoken to him about it, but I think that sometimes you have a bit of a farming mentality, and things don't always get done. And I think that me. I like to have things done quickly, and these sometimes are taking a little bit longer than I would like.
Okay. Alright, just to clarify, so you sort of two big concerns. The one is that you're not getting a market-related return on the farm.
Yes,
and secondly, you're concerned that the farm is sort of actually being run down a little bit.
That's correct, yeah. I think that you're right. I've got the other issues, I suppose, with the farm, and that is not the uncertainty of what's happening with the new government. Well, not the new government, what's happening with the government as to whether they'll decide from the land redistribution point of view and all the rest. I'd hate to have an asset sitting there and all of a sudden I haven't got this.
Okay.
So that's obviously a concern.
Okay, so there's a sort of a financial, long-term financial impact.
That's all. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this is obviously a big worry to you. I can see you're quite concerned about this.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of issues here. There's as you say, there's a financial implication, but in addition to that, it's been a family farm. Okay, so I feel that when I'm going there, I'm going home. So it's not easy, if I decide to, let's say, if I sort of sell it, I don't know if I really want to go there. And my kids have gone there, they absolutely love it. So they love going there. My wife is not mad about going there, so there's another challenge. So, other than my wife, everybody's keen to go there, so to keep it as a holiday. Because we also have got a house there and I use it as a holiday. But even though my friend rents it, I've still got a house that I go on holiday, so I use it for that purpose as well.
Alright, that's great. When you say your wife doesn't enjoy it, what's the reason behind that?
I think that the challenge around that is when there's never certainty that we necessarily going to have somebody to help clean the place.
Okay.
Generally we have somebody, but we get there then we go and find somebody to clean it. That's the one challenge. And the other challenge is when I get there I'm very busy. So I get there and I go and fix pumps and I go and fix things.
Okay.
And I'm not spending time on it.
Okay. Alright, so it's more of a working holiday for you than a family holiday.
I like to spend holiday, so I spend time with them in the evenings. Okay. But I suppose you're right. I still get relaxed. But
Okay. And is that something that is really dependent on you doing, or is it this friend of yours who rents the farm, is it something that you should be doing?
Well, I guess that would be up to me to decide, as to who does it.
Okay.
As to who does whatever maintenance. Because, he's paying the rental is too low, and I'm in total control of my destiny.
Okay. Alright. Just to understand, knowing your position in the business and the kind of earnings that you get, I think day-to-day financially it's not really a big concern for you. You are wanting to get a fair return on the farm.
Right.
Okay. Alright. And your concern with the government, I suppose every farmer has a concern, or a farm owner have a concern to some degree about that. And the missus. Is this something that you've discussed with your family?
I have discussed it with our family, they, my kids are dead against me selling the farm, so they definitely don't want. My wife probably wouldn't mind as much. She doesn't have the same sentimental value as we've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I could. I mean, then it's, I could look at one of the options could be to sell it or not to sell it.
Okay.
There are the
okay. And knowing the Peru, it's probably a very big farm. Is it sort of one big piece of land, or is it something, a couple of parcels of land joined together? How is it set up?
Well, that's actually a very interesting point, Mike. There are actually three pieces of different land, okay, that are included, but there's a piece that I really would use more than any other, and it's not. I could, I suppose, maybe that's an option. I could look at subdividing it and sell, just use the portion that I want and sell for the rest.
Okay.
So
okay. And is that sort of legally possible? Is it something that can be done?
I believe so. I believe so. I believe it is very definitely an option. If I understand correctly, I know that at one stage the government was very strict about subdivision. Okay. But I think that they've relaxed those rules a little bit, especially for farming. Okay. And especially it's not so controlled by municipality. Okay. But I haven't really looked into it, but I think that might well be.
So it is a possibility.
Yeah.
And your friend that's renting, has he shown any inclination of wanting to buy or become more permanent, or is he just happy with the arrangement as it is?
Well, he did actually say to me a while ago, probably about a year ago, he reckoned that if he's got cattle he's running, two of these, and he reckons that with these studs, he reckons that maybe in 2 or 3 years' time he might be in a position to buy a farm. Okay. And that would be great. That really would be awesome.
Okay, so that is something you're considering, because just now you were saying you really want to let go of the farm. But if he bought it, would you see him buying the whole thing or a portion?
Well, that's what you see. Maybe as an option, he could buy the portion and sell that portion off. That would certainly alleviate the risk of the land thing. I would end up with a much smaller piece, which means long term my risk is less, and I'm also getting the benefits of the farm. Okay. So if you sell to him would be like a huge win-win in all directions. Okay. I would still be sitting with the issue of the maintenance, of potentially the farm.
But a smaller portion, just
yes.
Okay. And you see that as a viable alternative, that if you retain a smaller portion and you have the time and the inclination to maintain it?
Yes, I do. I do see that. Definitely.
Alright. Okay, so let's just recap. So, it's not really a financial issue. So we're just clarifying, it's not really a financial issue, but you want a fair return, which you deem the right thing. Yes. You enjoy the farm, and your children enjoy the farm. Maria's sort of maybe not so keen on it, but she wouldn't mind if she was able to spend more time with you on the farm. Yes. You've got a friend staying there, and it's a good relationship, and you enjoy having him on the farm, but you are concerned that he's maybe not looking after it the way you feel you should.
Yes.
And then concerned about government legislation maybe changing and you losing the farm.
Yes.
Okay, and then you said some potential options there is to look at either selling the farm off as a whole.
Correct, yes.
Or subdividing it,
yes,
and retaining a portion,
yes,
and then selling the other part.
That's correct.
Okay. Are there any other potential options that you could look at?
Yeah, I could. Yes, definitely. I could carry on renting the farm as I'm doing.
Okay.
As per the normal agreement, I could probably rent it and then build into the rental agreement that certain additional maintenance needs to be done so that I don't have to do it.
Okay.
As a whole, I could maybe sell when I'm talking about split, I'm talking about I've got a river, okay, and anything this side of the river I'd like to keep, and everything the other side is just float.
Okay.
Sell that off, and maybe you still need to use the local lands and that.
Okay.
Maybe I could get him to rent that from me at a reduced rental, but then do maintenance on my side.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing I could do is I could take the farm back and run it. I could put a person in charge, and then, and because I'd be paying him a salary,
Okay.
I would be directing exactly what he has to do and what he doesn't have to do.
Okay. And is there a sort of viable option? Is that sort of a model that works for people?
That definitely does, and I could definitely consider it. But my only concern is obviously my workload has increased locally, yeah, so I'm just a little worried that if I take that on as well, I'm not going to be, it might take a little more of my time than I wanted to.
And maybe a bit more time on the farm than Maria would like.
Yes.
Okay.
But if we got there and I was able to just spend time, but the problem is then I'm going to go there, I'm going to be involved, that's a very valid point of mine, because then I'm going to be involved in farming the farm.
Okay.
And that's not the end goal, because Maria's not comfortable with the fact that I go there and don't spend time with her.
Okay.
So maybe that's, if I'm looking at a solution, maybe not the ideal solution of those ones in particular.
So what is the sort of the best alternative for you at this stage, do you think?
Well, I'm looking at the choices that you're presenting. I think that the ideal for me, okay, best case is if I could sell the other section to Christopher, because obviously I could also sell to somebody else.
Okay.
But ideally, if I sold it to Christopher, and because we get on well, so that would work. And then I rented out you may have use of the area around our house and that in exchange for keeping the maintenance, and the rental that he paid, that would probably cover all my costs, and I could have a family holiday for free and still have, I think that option would really
and some nice money for them.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, right. Is that something that you could start sort of putting together now?
Certainly, I think that then what I must do is I need to then find out legally what subdividing the land entails.
Okay, so going forward, the first thing you need to do is to find out the legalities of the subdivision and the sale. And then I guess chatting to Christopher about it in his fine.
Yeah, and getting timelines from him as to when he could do it, yeah.
Okay, so what are your next steps then?
Well, my next step is I'll contact, there's some lawyer or a friend that I can find out if that land is now becoming useful land and it's easier to subdivide. Find out what the kind of costs are involved in that. And then at the same time, talk to Christopher and say to him, okay, when is he going to be in a position? Maybe he can go and get a loan now.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so you see that as an option going forward. It's something you can start acting on.
Yes, definitely.